Hello everyone, my name is Emily Kraus. I am a sports medicine physician at Stanford Children's Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. It is day 11 of shelter in place, here in the Bay Area at least. I hope you're all healthy and well and at home. These times are challenging and unsettling for us all. Light to moderate physical activity can be a great stress reliever as well as benefit the body. I've seen a lot of great videos out there of people doing at-home exercises, and it's both inspiring and really entertaining to see the creative ways that people have found to stay active. Whether it's doing push-up challenges or dance videos, just keep up the great work. I am very fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of fantastic sports medicine professionals who prescribe exercise on a daily basis to athletes of all ages. One in particular is a physical therapist. His name is Derek Miles, and he consistently amazes me with his breadth of knowledge as well as his ability to work with athletes and really kind of target exercise programs for their unique needs. Derek has kindly agreed to talk me through and walk me through some specific at-home exercises tailored towards the endurance athlete. I think we all could agree that endurance athletes need to do more resistance exercise, and now's a great time to get that started. So follow along with me as he talks me through some of his favorite at-home exercises.
So in times like this, it's pretty common for everyone to be a little bit frustrated, but there are plenty of ways that we can organize exercise within the confines of what we have around. And some of those go away from the traditional 3 sets of 10 that most people are used to, but we can get some lower extremity strengthening out of it. 2 ways that we tend to really gravitate towards are called EMOMs, or every minute on the minute, or AMRAPs, and as many reps as possible. And both of these allow you to get a little bit more of that workout sensation without the requisite of having some heavier weights around. And we'll take Dr. Kraus through some of these today and just explain what they are. Every minute on the minute is exactly what it sounds. It's where you're going to pick an exercise and perform a certain number of repetitions every minute for a set number of times. So this may be something like 8 bodyweight lunges on each leg for 10 minutes. And during the rest time, you get to recover, and over time, you're getting a little bit of that cardiovascular training, but you're also getting some good resistance work. AMRAP, or as many reps as possible, allows us to create a little bit of a circuit. And here we might combine something like 5 reps of lunges each leg, 10 bodyweight squats, and 5 push-ups. And we're going to do that circuit for the entirety of 7 minutes, taking breaks as possible. Now, initially you may only get 5 to 7 rounds through, but it does allow for some conditioning, and it tends to help us show some steps that could probably use some work, especially for the endurance athlete, things like some upper body work along the way. And in times like this where everyone's a little bit bored, we really do have plenty of freedom to address some of the weak links in our own programming. So we'll go through some of these exercises with Dr. Kraus right now, and hope you enjoy. So if we're going to start with an EMOM while we're adhering to our social distancing, we're going to start with lunges. And how we'll start with this is just trying to perform 6 on each leg. Now, we can get into the nuance of technique, but right now the main cue I really want is just attempting to keep your knee over your toe the whole time and not really letting it drop in. So we're going to go down. I'm going to have Dr. Kraus try and touch her knee to the ground, and we'll rotate through let's go for 8 reps on each side.
Just do a...
Yep. So that took about 40 seconds. So now we'll get 20 seconds of rest, and then we'll repeat the process. And we could take this out as long as we possibly need to. Ideally, I would probably start with somewhere between 6 and 8 minutes of this. Some other really fun exercises to both hit some of the areas we want to work on and challenge the athlete, because part of it right now is getting that sensation of a good workout. Dr. Kraus, let's go into plank. So let's go push-up position plank.
Oh.
So here is a really fun one if we want to challenge an athlete. So I want Dr. Kraus, you're going to stay in plank, but I want you to try and walk your hands forward just a little bit. Can we go a little bit more? A little bit more. Starting to find some new muscles. All right, so we'll hold for a second and then let's walk back up to the original position. So come back into plank. So that's one. Ideally, I'll start a lot of athletes with 15 to 20 of these, taking breaks as needed. Full disclosure, this is much harder than it appears. Okay, you can come out of it. And then for endurance athletes, we also want to hit some single leg work along the way just because we have time for that right now. And this isn't really about ninja training. It's just starting to work on a little bit of our balance and getting better at it during these times. For this, we'll start with a single leg deadlift. So Dr. Kraus, let's stand on one leg. Here, I want you to try and keep your back as flat as you can, and you're just going to go down like you're going to try and touch the ground.
Oh my gosh.
So in instances like this, I like to refer to this as room for improvement. So we certainly have some things that we can work on to develop some broader athletic principles out of this. And you'll probably find that, just like Dr. Kraus, we have some for improvement. The other way that we can do this is through an exercise that we typically call a curtsy lunge. So here we're going to stand on one leg, and essentially you're going to work on your manners. So I want you to reach back and across like you're going to try and tap the ground. So we'll go here, yep, and back up. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a wobble there. The big cue here is I really want the athlete to focus on keeping their knee pointed straight ahead. So let's try again. And here we'll typically prescribe in 3 sets of 8. And if you have some light weights at the house, like 5 or 10 pound dumbbells, it comes in really handy to hold in your opposite arm. So we'll go same thing here, reaching back and across and trying to keep that front knee pointed straight ahead. Excellent. Now, where you'll probably feel this is somewhat of a shake in your leg, and then you may feel it on the outside of your hip as well. That's excellent if this is the case. So due to the constraints and lack of equipment, there are some things that most people have around their house, such as a dining room table chair. This allows us to work on some single leg exercises as well, especially if we're going to talk about doing something that is a little bit harder from the strength perspective. So here we're going to start introducing a pistol squat. What we're going to have Dr. Kraus do is stand on one leg and try and go down to the chair as slow as possible. Grab your popcorn, everyone. As you can see from our model, this is a rather hard exercise. Now, initially, when you're first learning this, it's perfectly okay to use both feet to stand back up. The real key to this in the initial phases is that nice, slow, controlled descent. And Dr. Kraus says she will welcome any and all blooper videos into her DMs. Let's see if we can get 4. All right, let's switch legs and see if we can get a few. And what you'll likely find as an athlete is that you're better on one side than the other. And this isn't a problem, but during times like this, it does give us some components to work on. The goal is never absolute symmetry or working towards the Vitruvian man, but the closer we can get, typically the better our outcomes are. If we were going to pair some things as an AMRAP, what we would possibly do is say we're going to do, for Dr. Kraus, 4 lunges on each side, 5 body weight squats, and let's start with 4 push-ups, just for the sake of us all getting a good laugh right now. So Dr. Kraus, we're going to go through one round of this. We're going to do 4 lunges on each leg, then 5 body weight squats, and then 4 push-ups. Did I say the same numbers both times?
You say
4, 5, and 4.
4, 5, and 4. Okay. All right, we'll do the 1, 2.
Now, for the astute observer of semantics, Dr. Krause is actually performing a split squat, but in instances such as this, you can choose split squat or lunge. Both will serve the same purpose for us right now. 5 bodyweight squats.
Jump.
Yep. Four push-ups. So this will constitute one round, and we can do this here where you're going to go for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, just so long as you're trying to complete it the whole time and working through. You'll likely find, especially from the endurance athlete, runner specifically, that the push-ups are going to be the rate limiting step. So all you need to do then is just scale that down. And even if you're just starting with 2 push-ups or 3 push-ups, if you get 10 rounds, then you've done 20 or 30 push-ups. And over time, you'll see that this will start to improve. And once again, in times like this, let's work on improving the variables we can under the constraints that are presented to us.